morning, everyone. Thanks for joining me for another Wednesday video. I'm Marg from Creative Stamping with Marg. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from St. Albert, Alberta, Canada. Today we're going to do a fun card, quick and easy, and I will catch you up on the Stampin' Up! News for the week. All right, let's go down to my desk. And I'm going to try to loosen this so it doesn't make so much noise as we come on down here. There we go. All right, there's my desktop. You can see that I have the paper pumpkin kit. You need to subscribe before March the 10th if you're interested in this one. It's called Daisy Daydream, and it looks like a fun one. There's the coordinating add-on dies that are still available. They were for January, February, and March. So this is the 2 dies that will coordinate with the Daisy Daydream. The number is 166237, and those dies are $16.50, and you'll get all of those dies there. All right, put that to the side. Yesterday, Stampin' Up! Released new online exclusives, and I'm just going to straighten this up. And they also showed 2 new kits. So you need to check those out on the online catalog. Lots of new things to look at. The online things are always very interesting. And make sure that you're checking out your last chance list, because there's still things there that are of interest, I'm sure. All right. So today our card was, I saw it demonstrated by Laura, I think her name is Seki, and she did it with her Hello Spring Paper Pumpkin kit. So I tried it with mine. I will show you those cards at the end. But today we're going to revisit Moody Mauve, which I haven't used in a really long time. And I thought I better be breaking this out because those 5 colors, in colors from 2023 and 2025 will be retiring. There they are there when we get our new catalog in May. So I thought I better be using up some of this cardstock that I have and designer series paper that goes with it. So Moody Mauve is one of the colors. There it is there. Pebbled Path was the gray, Boho Blue, Wild Wheat, and Copper Clay. So those are those in colors that will be retiring. I just thought I'd point that out in case you've forgotten about them, because I kind of had. All right, so today our card base is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. So just a regular card front. DSP is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and we're going to do some cutting. So that's that. I have a circle die cut from Spotlight in Nature. Those were those really fun circles that we have. I die cut a Moody Mauve. Now, I'm going to qualify this because I've also cut it in Pretty Peacock, because I'm not sure which color I want to go with. So I've got 2 of those cut. I also cut a white circle out of one of these dies, and I've stamped it with Happy Birthday from Unbounded Love. I'll bring that in here. There's Unbounded Love. That was the one that had all the words. Okay, and I've done it in Moody Mauve, and I've also stamped it in Pretty Peacock, just in case, or I can switch them around if I want. I have some ribbon. I have some embellishments. I have a white piece of paper that's 4 1/4 by 2 3/4 for the inside. And I also have a piece of Pretty Peacock cardstock that's 2 inches by 5 1/2, I think. Yes. I'm not certain I'm going to use it, but I have it here, depending on what we decide about color. All right, so let's move this to the side. The designer series paper I'm using today is the Winter Meadow paper, and it is the one that had the Moody Mauve on it, and it has that nice, it almost looks like a watercolor background on the back. All right, so we need to do some cutting right away. So for this card, you're going to get your card front like this and measure in from your top right corner 1.5 inches. And I have done that, and there's a little mark there, I think you can probably see. And we're going to cut diagonally down to the bottom right corner. So I brought my paper trimmer in. I'm going to open up my card like this, And I'm going to put my 1.5 inch mark in the track there, and the bottom right corner in the bottom track. Now, when you're cutting something like this, you want to come in not from the point, because you might, it just sometimes shreds it. So you either start in the middle and go up and down, or you can start at the top here. So I'm going to go down like that. So we've cut this angled piece off. So our front is going to have an angle front like that. We're also going to do the same thing on our designer series paper. I measured in 1.5 inches. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Cut it like that. And again, I'm going to have a bit of a triangle here. Okay, that's all the cutting we need to do for now. I'm going to move that out of the way. So this card will have this designer series paper put on here on the front like this. And it can be done different ways. Laura did hers like this, where she lined these up and she put this piece on the bottom right here, lining it up with this edge and then trimming off that piece there. Now, I've done it that way, but I also tried a different way, where I put this piece of paper into here so that when the card is closed, it looks like that. And then I embossed this piece and put it like this. And I really like the look of that also. And then like our greeting could go like that. Okay, so I just have to decide if I want it that way, or what I had thought I might do is I would put this here like Laura did, and then I would emboss this piece and put it in there just as a bit of a contrast. I do like the look of that also. So I don't know what to think about it. Let me think here what I want to do. And then I might want to put this on here like this. What do you guys think? Just have to make my mind up here. I might do it like that. I think I will do it like this. I like the look of that. So what I need to do, I need to bring my trimmer back in if I'm going to use this piece. This piece is 2 inches by 5.5. I'm going to cut it into 2 triangles. So what I'm, sorry, move that camera. I'm just doing it from the top left to the bottom right. And being that they're both points, I would not start at top or bottom. I will start in the middle to cut it. Now I've moved that. Sorry, I closed it. You have to make sure you're right here, like that. So you get 2 triangles, and I'm going to emboss it. So I did bring in my machine. So what it's going to look like is this. This piece is going to be embossed, and it's going to be in here. So I think I've chosen the Distressed Tile 3D Embossing folder. Now I will bring in my my cut and emboss machine to show you how this works. So you're going to use your base plate, which is the thick plate number 1. And here's the embossing folder. I'm going to take my piece, and I do want it to be straight, so I think I will line it up with the line, which Stampin' Up! Has on the folders. Not every folder has it, but ones that require it to be somewhat straight. And I'm looking at my pattern, and I kind of want that pattern to be kind of right. I think there looks good. Squeeze it closed. It's a 3D embossing folder, so it doesn't need any plates, any glass plates. The only plate you need is the number 4 gray plate. The specialty plate goes on top, like that, and we put it through the machine. I'm sorry, I keep hitting that camera. Okay, I don't usually do this on camera because it does wiggle it, and I apologize for that, but I had to make all these decisions. So I'll move that out of the way now so that we aren't wiggling, hopefully, again. All right, so I'm sorry, I really moved this now, haven't I? Okay, so there's our piece of embossing. It looks really good. So we can start to assemble this now. So here's all our pieces that we want to glue. And I'm going to use my combo liquid glue. See if I get it started here. So I think first things first, I'm going to glue this piece of designer series paper onto the front of my card. Make sure you get your right to the corners glued because you don't want those corners lifting. And I'll open it up like this so you can see what I'm doing on my silicone mat here. So I want it to be, it's just got a tiny little edge showing like that. So you just have a little bit of an edge, like 1/8 of an inch showing at this edge and the bottom. I do notice when I cut this that my bottom corner tends to, this pointed corner sometimes does not cut very well. So I like to trim that little thing off of it. Okay, so there's that. I can glue this in here. And again, it will have a little bit of a corner. And you want to, this is embossed, so you want a fair amount of glue on it so that it will stick. And you want to make sure that very pointy end gets glued down. And again, this just has just a little bit of an edge here, like that. And we're going to put our white in here. Just it can go under. I did this on the one and I tucked it under here and I really like the look of that, so I think I will do that again. I don't think I'm doing any, I was going to do some stamping on that, so we're not going to scrunch that down yet. I did bring in the greeting, "May all your wishes come true," and it's from Unbounded Love. And I thought, I was waiting to stamp it because I didn't know if I wanted it in Moody Mauve or Pretty Peacock. So if I'm going to use this like that, I guess I will use the Moody Mauve on this. Okay, so I don't normally do my stamping in front of you guys, but today I will. It is a photopolymer stamp, so I'm just going to rub it a little bit. That sometimes takes any marks off of it. I have used this stamp before, so it should be okay. So may all your wishes come true. That's pretty. I like that greeting. And happy birthday on the front. Close that up. All right, so now I'm going to glue it in so that I can tuck it under that embossed piece. Don't need too much glue on this. I always just do it right around the edges. All right, so I'll move this out of the way. And now we're going to tuck it in here. Just like that. And I think that looks really good. So note to self, don't glue that down until you've got your inside done. Okay, so we've got this done. Now this piece on the bottom is going to go like this, and this is going to be on top of it. What I found though is they're almost identical sizes, so I need to trim this DSP a little bit. I didn't notice that Laura had that problem, but I found when I did my samples that I need to trim them off. So I'm just going to take about 1/8 of an inch off of here, and I'm starting at the top down to the point. Okay, so just a tiny little sliver off of there, and then it will fit on our piece a little bit better, I think. Okay, so let's see how I did with that. I think that's much better. And the way I did it is I lined it up with the bottom of the cardstock and just left the little trim coming here. Okay, and again, when you cut these points, they never seem to cut quite right. So I will just trim that off, and hopefully I got it. And actually that's going to be cut off anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so I'm going to glue this to the cardstock triangle. And like I said, I matched it to the bottom and to the side edge. Oops. Just leaving just that edge at the top showing. So it's lined up here and it's lined up at the bottom. Then I'm going to put it onto my card front. So I will open it like that. Oh, I can't really open it like that. I need to line it up, sorry. And I know that I want it right at the very bottom. So what you can do is just put your, I just put my finger there and I know I have to have glue below that. You're only gluing to the front. Okay, only gluing to the front of your card, not to this piece. But you need to line it up to the edge of your card. So I'm going to line it up there, and it's lined up right along the bottom, like that. And you can see this point sticking over. I'm going to cut that off. Turn it over. I'll just give it a minute to dry. Don't want to move it. So I think that's a very unique card front that she decided to do. I mean, I've seen angles, but not adding the piece, and I think that's really ingenious of her. So I don't know if she designed it or came up with that idea or someone else, but I really like the way it was done. So that's basically the card, just like that. All right, so we're going to put this together. I decided I would just put this onto here, and that brings out your pretty peacock that we added. And I'm going to put that on there with dimensionals, I think. So I have my dimensionals here, and I also tied a little bow from, this was the combo pack, petal pink and white diagonal ribbon. So I tied a bow with the white ribbon, and I thought we could just, you know, it could be like that on it. And I brought some embellishments. So let's just get some of our dimensionals on here. I think 4 should do it, like that. And peel the backs off of them. Just another note, I hope everybody utilized the celebration rewards while that was going on, because there were some great things to get in that. That sadly is over. Now I'm going to add that bow, and I will add it with the glue dot, I think would be the best way to do it. So our glue dots are here, and my teacher pick tool. So I will open this, find a glue dot here. I need to pull off some of this paper. And I think the easiest way, I think I'm going to stick the bow right onto the glue dot. And you can add more than one if you think you're going to need it. So the glue dot's right on the back of my bow, and I think I'll put it at an angle. It still shows, but put it like that. And if you wanted these to stay a certain way, you could put glue dots underneath them, but I think that looks good. All right, now I did bring in retired embellishments only because they had the Moody Mauve. This is adhesive back speckled dots, and they had the Moody Mauve, so I thought, oh, I know they're retired, but I think I'm still going to use them because I think they're the ones I want. Otherwise, I brought in adhesive back pearl trio, and I thought this one is Petunia Pop, but I thought that one went okay too. The Petunia Pop is a nice enough pink, so you could use those also. I'm going to use these retired ones just because I have them. And I think, put one right there. They only come in 2 sizes, so you've got just those 2 sizes to work with. So I'll put 2 small ones up here and 1 there. They kind of disappear on there, but I think when your recipient gets your card, they'll see that the embellishments are there. So there we go with that one. I think that turned out really good. Interesting, very interesting, I'm thinking. Now, I didn't do an envelope for this one, which I was talking about last week. I keep forgetting to do my envelopes. I think I will probably put the paper on it that's on here, on the front of this one. Okay, I'll show you what I did with my Hello Spring kit. Now, this is a paper pumpkin kit that is past. You can't get it anymore. But this is this is the first one I did, following exactly the same idea as the card we just made. So this was the card base. You're seeing this. So I cut the card base up to make this using that as the DSP. The card base itself is basic beige, and then I used Old Olive for my piece. And I think that turned out really good. So there's that one. So it's exactly the same idea. Now I changed the next one up. So for this one, I used the same piece of paper for the DSP, but I put the piece here, and the piece that I cut off of my Lost Lagoon card base, I embossed and put it down below. So you can do it a couple of different ways, and it gives you a couple of different looks. So that's kind of my thought on that. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that. And if you did, give me a thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. And subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any of my Wednesday videos. And all of the measurements for this card will be underneath this video. And I hope everybody has a great week.